Hello and welcome to The Federal. You're watching Off the Beaten Track, in which we pick up one issue and take a multi dimensional view of the subject and the controversy. Recently, one of the most landmark bills of India in the 21st century, which is called the Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, that bill was changed, popularly called as MGNREGA, initially started as NAREGA, but in 2009, after the second victory of the UPA, the United Progressive Alliance government named it as added the name of Mahatma Gandhi, to this landmark bill which ensured employment for the poorest of this country. Now, this government has changed the name of the bill. They have also changed the contents of it. So there is actually an issue related to the nomenclature. Dropping Mahatma Gandhi's name for some people of this country is actually close to being blasphemous. How can you eliminate Mahatma Gandhi from something which actually enables people to lead a better life, especially those who are very poor? The second is actually taking away uh, the powers of the state and imposing on them a financial burden. This is actually a problem that scholars have said. I am just going to quote you from an open letter which has been written by global scholars of economics, politics, sociology, who have said that changes aimed at consolidating authority of the center over the program while transferring greater and unsustainable obligations for administration and payment to the states. There is a larger question because we are not going to be focusing only on the renaming of Manrega to what they called VBG Ramji. It could well have VB, that is Viksit Bharat, and then the rest of it, instead of G Ramji, to make it sound phonetically in Hindi, could have been also Gramji. But this is actually a regime which uses names also as politics. So I am going to be talking about that. Sorry for a bit of a lengthy introduction, but my guest today is a renowned journalist and commentator, and also public affairs, a voice in the country, Ashutosh, who has been a journalist for several decades now. So, welcome to this program, Ashutosh. I am really thankful to you that you have joined. While you are out of Delhi on work,
Thank you.
on a holiday, but I know that it is. Good to be out of Delhi, especially with the kind of air that we breathe, given the fact that I also was out and now I'm having a sore throat because I'm having, returned to the gas chamber of India. I no longer call it the capital of India. Welcome to the program.
Thank
So,
you.
Manrega, Mahatma Gandhi is no longer going to be there in the flagship program, which actually enabled the people to not dig holes, as Mr. Modi said after he became the prime minister, but actually to survive and also enable a certain amount of growth during the very sad COVID years. How do you react to this? Both at one level, the name change, dropping Mahatma Gandhi, and on the other level, imposing financial burden on the states and taking away the authority to the center.
Nilanjan, there are two angles to the story. One angle to the story is that since Modi became the prime minister, he is in habit of dismantling the entire edifice created by his predecessors as a prime minister, especially by the Nehru Gandhi family and the Congress prime minister. So he is in a habit of doing that. And he thinks by doing this, he will be dismantling the old structure. He will be dismantling the old consensus, and then he will be setting his name on record in history, and the people will remember him that he did this, all kinds of things. So he's in a habit of it. But much deeper question is ideological. And why I say this ideological? Because Mahatma Gandhi, I was arguing somewhere and I said, look, the name we have given, in nowhere in the longer format, the name Ram exists. But in the short form, you have put a Ram somewhere. So you are just trying to argue that Ram is a much bigger identity and Ram is an icon for the Mahatma Gandhi. So why the people are objecting to it? The issue is not Ram. Issue is not not something else. So Nilanjan, the other issue is much deeper and the much serious issue. It is about why this government has decided to drop the name of Mahatma Gandhi. They could have easily kept the name, and then they could have retweaked the entire policy framework. But they not only have retweaked the entire policy framework, but they've dropped the name of Mahatma Gandhi. For me, that is much more important. Because if you look at RSS and its ideology, they basically have no love and affection for Mahatma Gandhi. That is for true. You might ask on record, Mr. Narendra Modi might say that when I was unknown, even then Mahatma Gandhi used to inspire me, all kinds of things. Even the RSS people will say that they have so much affection for Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi is one of the icons of the country. Mahatma Gandhi is a father of the nation, all kinds of things they will say. But in their heart, they do not believe, they have no faith in Mahatma Gandhi and his teachings and his philosophy per se.
Absolutely.
If you remember, after Mahatma Gandhi's assassination, RSS was banned, and the RSS Pramukh was even jailed. And even the Sardar Patel has written a letter to Golwalkar and said that the kind of venom and the poison he has spread around, it is because of this that Mahatma Gandhi was killed. And in fact, till early 60s, RSS in their Shakha and in their private meetings used to call Mahatma Gandhi assassination as a Gandhi Vad. So, but then they realized that in order to gain legitimacy in the eyes of the people, they can't dissociate for a longer time from Mahatma Gandhi. So they were forced to be with Mahatma Gandhi, to be seen with Mahatma Gandhi, and to believe that Mahatma Gandhi is one of the greatest sons this country has produced. But in their heart, they do not believe into Mahatma Gandhi nor its philosophy. Why I'm saying so? It's very simple, because in their analysis of the history, and when they analyze in the last 1200 years of Indian history, what Mohan Bhagwat is very fond of saying, that Hindus are in a perpetual state of war in the last 1200 years, and Hindus cannot afford to lose this war. And what they are referring at, they're referring at the Muslims, they're referring at the Christians. And why? And when they analyze history, then they realize that Hindus became a slave within a colony, first under the Muslims and then under the Britishers, because Hindus are too timid. Hindus believe into the non-violence, so they could not retaliate the way they should have retaliated. So the entire RSS project is to make Hindus brave, to make Hindus ruthless, to make Hindus believe into the violence, so that the same history is not repeated. And Gandhi stands firm before them, and Gandhi tells them that, look, we got independence from Britishers not by using violence, but by using non-violence. So, and Savarkar in his book, the Six Glorious Epochs of Indian History, has categorically said that whatever we think and whatever we believe into the civilizational value of Hinduism, they call it something which is a sign of weaknesses. They call it as a perverted virtue, like the truth, the non-violence, the tolerance, all these things. For them, these are the sign of weakness. These are perverted virtues. It is because of them that the Hindus became a colony under the Muslims and then under the Britishers. So they want to totally erase Gandhi's memory, Gandhi's thought, Gandhi's values from the Indian mindset. But since they know that the Gandhi is so much ingrained in Indian psyche that it is next to impossible to do this. But now they are in power for the last 12 years. They got majority in 2014. They got majority in 2019. They got a little bit jolt in 2024. But after the winning handsomely in the 4-5 assembly elections, they are slowly doing it. And that is why this dropping of Mahatma Gandhi's name for me is extremely problematic and extremely disturbing. And that is why I say that this is a much deeper issue. It's just not dropping a name. It's dropping a name with an ideological tinge and had a much ideological reasons for this.
You know, you said that till the 60s, which we all know, they actually used to call the assassination of Gandhi as Gandhi Vad, something which you actually in mythology do, for the collective good. That is why somebody does a Vad of somebody. So Gandhi was killed by Nathuram Godse and his aides, which I believe that also included in some form, at least in inspiration form, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, one of the ideologues of the RSS, BJP, and everybody else part of the Hindu nationalistic entire canvas. Now, do you think that now the time has come, according in the understanding of the BJP leaders who have done this, that now they can do away with the pretense of actually Gandhi being a great person? Can Gandhi be now completely dropped from their vocabulary? Do they think so?
They will not do it immediately. They'll do
Yeah.
it by brick, because
Okay.
they know that the Gandhi is too important a character in Indian politics and Indian society. They know that Gandhi is highly revered, and they are also worried about the international repercussions with the BJP and the RSS might face. Because if you go outside, probably people know India, and they respect India because India was fortunate enough to have a great son of India that is called Mahatma Gandhi, and one of the greatest leaders of the 20th century, be it Nelson Mandela, be it Desmond Tutu, be it Martin Luther King, and be anybody. Take even one of the greatest scientists like Einstein. They all worship Gandhi. Even I was just last time I was just visiting to the USA, and I could see that where there's a memorial for the Martin Luther King, and there was a quotation from the Mahatma Gandhi was embossed over there. So people love Mahatma Gandhi, and they know that what a great figure Mahatma Gandhi was, and that is why India is so fortunate to have them. And I can cite one small example. Almost 10, 12 years back, when I was in Buenos Aires and I was just walking on the street, and a young fellow, he just walked by me, and suddenly he looked back and said, "Are you from India, America?" "Yes." And he said, "You are fortunate to have a leader like Mahatma Gandhi. I wish we had someone like this." So that's what Mahatma Gandhi is. India's identity is so much related with Mahatma Gandhi that you can't erase it. So there will be huge repercussions if BJP or the RSS tries to erase Mahatma Gandhi from the memory of India, from India's memory, because there will be huge international repercussions also, other than the repercussions in India. So they will not do it immediately. They will take time. And I'm very fond of saying this: RSS has a patience of an ocean. They have waited for 100 years to reach over here, and they can wait for another 100 years to erase Mahatma Gandhi, because in their heart they believe it. Mahatma Gandhi's non-violence and it's his commitment to the core the Hindu dharma is not what Hindus should be. Hindu should be ruthless. Hindu should be brave. Hindu should be knowing how to use sword. And Hindu should be knows how to kill. Something like this, and it's very clearly written in Savarkar's. So they will not do it immediately, but they will take their time. But they will do it. If they remain in power, they will do it. I'd never had a doubt in my mind about this.
Okay, I would agree with you that in the state, that if the BJP continues to remain in power, then I'm certain that in future, the historians of that time would possibly record the change in the nomenclature of this landmark legislation, which actually economically empowers the poor in this country, would be seen as the first step of actually removing the pretense of Mahatma Gandhi being part of their their pantheon of leaders. They would certainly. But let's go beyond Mahatma Gandhi. When you talked about, Gandhi being, the necessity to embrace Gandhi, but it also, means, that at some point or the other, this is way to show this entire approach of the BJP RSS is to actually show that the Hindus have been wronged for 1,000 years, and that now the Hindus must actually reclaim what they lost in the last 1,000 years. That actually explains a large number of things which has happened, including renaming of roads, cities, and even institutions, and in all aimed at changing the alternate nature of history. It all started in Delhi itself, when many years ago, after Mr. Modi became Prime Minister, Aurangzeb Road was renamed after APJ Abdul Kalam, very fine, former President of India, no problems in a road name after him. Then why change the name of somebody who was contagious, but also, like any individual, has pluses and minuses. Nobody is minus. Why this? And thereafter it started. Allahabad became Prayagraj. Mughal Sarai became Deen Dayal Upadhyay Nagar. Endlessly, we can go spend the next 1 hour just trying to list which are the cities' names which have been changed. So, do you look at it as primarily the part of the continuation of what Savarkar said, that this is a nation of the Hindus and the Muslims and the Christians are actually outsiders?
Before answering your question, let me go a little deep into the Gandhi thing. Since
Hmm.
we have witnessed since Modi became the prime minister, there has been incessant attack on Jawaharlal Nehru. This is
Right.
not just a coincidence. This is not by accident. This is by design. For the two
Hmm.
reasons. One, they want to dismantle the constitutional consensus which was built around Nehruvian legacy and the Nehruvian thought process. So they want
Okay.
to start their own consensus. They want to start their own thought process, and that is why they are trying to dismantle
Hmm.
Nehru and
Hmm.
Nehruvian consensus. The second point is, which is much important from my point of view, is that this is also a part of dismantling the entire Gandhian thought process, because the whole world knows that the Nehru was a chosen successor of Mahatma Gandhi, and Mahatma Gandhi has chosen he as his successor in his own lifetime, and has said that we might differ right now, but once I am gone, Nehru will speak the same language. And
Hmm.
Nehru was very tough on secularism like Gandhi. Nehru was very tough in inclusive politics like Gandhi. Nehru believed into the non-violence. Nehru was a visionary, but Nehru was also extremely idealist like Mahatma Gandhi was. They differed on few points, like they differed on industrialization, they differed on economic policy, they differed on decentralization, but on the core issues of Indian ethos, Mahatma Gandhi and Nehru were the same. So
And
discrediting
Indian nationhood,
Nehru,
if I can intervene.
yeah,
Indian nationhood.
Nehru, Indian nation. So Nehru was basically seen as lengthening the legacy of Mahatma Gandhi. And and it's easier to discredit Nehru for the simple reason because Nehru was in government for 17 years. So somebody who is in the government, they will commit many mistakes, and it's easy to pick on Nehru. And then once Nehru is discredited, then their assault on the Gandhi will get much deeper weaponization. So, and about the name changing is basically a part of changing India's history, redefining India and Indian history, and erasing the memory of entire the medieval history, which was dominated by the Muslim rulers, be it Akbar, which is the whole world knows that he was a benevolent despot. But in their eyes, in their opinions, he was a foreigner, and he do not belong to the Indian memory and Indian thought process. So anybody who has been a Islamic ruler in the past, they have a problem with that, and they do not believe into the composite culture, what Gandhi used to believe, what Nehru used to believe. And for Gandhi and Nehru, Hindus and Muslims were the two eyes, and they together form the composite culture. So they have no problem, no quarrels with the Muslim and the Muslim rulers. And in fact, if you read Discovery of India, Jawaharlal Nehru very categorically says that the Muslims, they came from outside, but they accepted India as their motherland.
That's right.
They remained here. They did not loot. They did not go anywhere, and they became a part of Indian culture. They became a part of Indian society. And during their time, the India had an enormous economic growth. Even during the time of Aurangzeb too, when India used to command 27% of the world GDP. But Britishers looted India. They were a foreigner in this country. They colonized India.
Hmm.
The medieval history, Muslims did not colonize India because they became a part of India. And RSS and the BJP do not subscribe to this part of the history. So they will dismantle everything which by this way or that way is remotely related to to the Muslim identity or the Muslim thought process.
Yeah, let me just add one point, which historians, we are not, neither of us is a trained historian, but we know enough about history to be able to talk about it better than some of the amateur historians of the Hindutva brigade. The Mughal state, if you look at it, was not an exclusivist state. It had vested power in very important Hindu rulers all across there, empire, the Mughal empire, wherever there was, they had Hindus who were at the local level, they were heading the governors. These were actually kings of various places. We can go and discuss that at length, but that was there. It is not like the BJP today, which does not have Muslims as ministers, as members of parliament. This is an exclusivist regime, whereas the Mughal empire was not one. That is just a point which I wanted to make. But I have a slightly different question, the same issue from a different point of view. Does this entire, spread of Hindutva politics, does this in some way or the other bestow a kind of historical guilt on today's Muslims who have possibly no links with those who came from outside India? Does this actually make them feel some kind of, that there is, that there is a guilt, they carry a guilt of being Muslims? Let me put it that way.
This is their attempt. This is their attempt to make Muslims feel guilty about the past. But when I interact with the Muslims, even amongst those who could be called as the elites of the Muslim society and those who are the poorest, there is a very clear understanding in their mind. They have no quarrels with Hindus. They know that it is a kind of politics which is pursued by BJP. That is what making them second-grade citizens. So the good part is that they know this. They are in a position to make a distinction between Hindus and the Hindutva, the BJP and the other political parties. They also know that other political parties, if they come to power, they will not pursue these kind of politics, and they will not make them guilty of the past, whatever the others have done. But we are perfectly all right. The BJP, RSS, and Hindutvadi do not lose even a single opportunity to make them guilty, to make them feel that you were in past you have committed so much atrocities on us. And that is why the biggest war cry during the Babri movement was Babar ki aulad, Babar ki aulad,
That's
Babar ki
right.
aulad. Indian Muslims, everybody knows probably a very minuscule minorities among the Muslims who came from the Central Asia, or a few from the Arab countries. But majority of them, they were inhabitant of this country. They were part of Indian society. They were Hindus, and they got converted to the Islam for maybe some reasons, because of the dangers they felt from the Muslim rulers, and also because they were not treated well within the Hindu communities. Most of them were converted from Hinduism to the Islam, were Dalits, were the very, very backward and the poor people, and they were looking for a kind of liberation from the caste, a salvation from the caste structure. So, and the minute they joined Islam, they were treated like equals, and which they were denied in the Hindu society. So this whole process is basically not to make them guilty, in my opinion, up to a certain extent, but to take revenge from the past, to take revenge from the Muslims of the present, from what the others have done within their perceived emotion. They forget to understand that during the Mughals did not derive their how to call it legitimacy from the Arabs. They did not derive any legitimacy from the Persia, and there was a clear cut, or from the Byzantine state, or the Ottoman Empire. They were a different, independent, autonomous empire within their own right, and they used to compete with the Ottomans. They used to compete with the Persian Empire. They used to compete with the rest of them, and they truly believed and remained autonomous within the Indian society. And in fact, they were very powerful. If they wanted to convert the Hindu communities into the Islamic communities, it would have been much easier, because they were too powerful. But they pursued a policy of not changing much at the ground level. Nothing, not much.
They did not
changed.
have. Would you agree that if I say that the Mughals did not come to India with a civilizational agenda like the BJP and the Sangh Parivar today has? Would you say that no civilizational agenda? I'm saying that the Mughals did not have the Mughals did not have a civilizational agenda. This
I
civilizational
agree with you.
agenda is what drives the BJP.
I agree with you, because if you look at the Islam which was which reached to the Europe, which reached to the Africa, which reached to the other part of the Asia, that was of a different nature. But here the Babar came to India because he was thrown out from the Central Asia. He was thrown out from his own motherland, and then he was left with no other option than to come to the Kabul and win Kabul and be an emperor. And then let's not forget it. The Babar did not come on his own. Babar was invited by rulers at that point of time, which lived in India, which was here. He was not coming here just to civilize Indians or to convert in Hindus into the Muslims. He was invited, and secondly, he realized that once coming over here, that this is a good place to live in, and it's a good place to rule. And that's what they continued. And if they had an Islamic agenda, they would not have admitted Hindu. They would not have admitted Hindus into their bureaucracy.
Right.
And in fact, at the time of Akbar and Aurangzeb, they were more than 30%. And they were in a very powerful position.
Yes.
Very, very powerful position, like Total Maltan Singh, Birbal, Man Singh, Jaswant Singh, Jai Singh, all of them were extremely powerful mansabdar within their own capacity, and they're very trusted by the Mughal, even trusted by the Aurangzeb, and trusted by Akbar too. So I agree with you. They did not come here with a civilizational agenda. They came over here. Probably they were thrown away from their own motherland, and then they found a good refuge to be here and happy with it.
To acquire political power,
yes.
That is what they came for. Yeah, Ashutosh, let me ask you something different. Very recently, a BJP member of parliament demanded that Delhi, the Indian capital, should be renamed as Indraprasth, as the mythological city was there during the times of Mahabharata. Now, what significance would remain of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose's slogan, which is an iconic slogan, Dilli Chalo? That's a call which he gave. Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose has been installed in the India Gate area by this government, and saying that his legacy was neglected by the previous government, starting Nehru onwards. So what significance would remain of that slogan? What would it show of their commitment, Mr. Modi's commitment to Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose, as he has been claiming all these years?
Nilanjanda, I think we have to understand that the BJP ideology is not only fighting with the Nehru or Gandhi. They are fighting with the entire legacy of the freedom struggle. So now they are using Subhas Chandra Bose, they are using other Sardar Patel and others, just because they want to demonize Nehru and to discredit their entire legacy. But if you look at seriously, do you think that the RSS will ever like to have a kind of friendship with Subhas Chandra Bose? Subhas Chandra Bose was a much radicalized person. He was more socialistic than Jawaharlal Nehru. And in fact, he had gone to meet Hitler and Japan. And let's not forget, in the history, when Subhas Chandra Bose was giving Dilli Chalo ka nara and saying Jai Hind, at that point of time, the RSS and the Vinayak Savarkar, they were recruiting people for the English army. And so their commitment to freedom struggle movement and its values is almost nil. Now, since today they are not in a position to disown the entire legacy, they are picking one character, crediting them, they will pick another character and discredit them. Like, look at this Bande Mataram whole episode. Bande Mataram whole episode, if you look at seriously, this is basically to discredit the entire freedom struggle. Because Bande Mataram, on the surface of it, they are trying to pick only Nehru. Superficially, if you look at, but seriously, if you look at, basically it was an attempt to discredit the entire freedom struggle fought by Congress under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. Rabindranath Tagore was involved into that whole exercise. Mahatma Gandhi was there, Acharya Kripalani was there, Sarojini Naidu was there, Subhas Bose was there. So it was done in consultation with all the top leaders of the freedom struggle. But they picked only Nehru. What they were not saying it,
that Nehru was that Mahatma Gandhi also compromised with the Jinnah. Mahatma Gandhi, the Subhas Bose also compromised with Jinnah. Kripalani also compromised with the Jinnah. So by one stroke, they are trying to discredit everybody. I do not subscribe that in their heart they believe into the Subhash Chandra Bose. They are only fighting with Jawaharlal Nehru. They are fighting with the entire legacy of the freedom struggle and the entire value system of the freedom struggle and the whole core values which was so dear to Mahatma Gandhi, because all leaders, they're the proteges of Mahatma Gandhi. Subhash Chandra Bose had a disagreement with Mahatma Gandhi, but Subhash Chandra Bose, when he launched that march and the Azad in the Fauj, so he he talked about Mahatma Gandhi so dearly, so affectionately. So it's not that Mahatma Gandhi was antagonistic to Subhash Chandra Bose and Subhash Chandra Bose didn't like Mahatma Gandhi. Nothing like that. They are all have a difference of opinions, but they believed into the basic ethos of the freedom struggle and they believed into Mahatma Gandhi. So anybody who believes into the Mahatma Gandhi cannot be dear to RSS. So it will be superficially looking at the issues that they will preserve Subhash Chandra Bose and they will discredit Jawaharlal Nehru. I don't subscribe to that thought process.
Right. Let me ask you the concluding question of our conversation. You know that this consistent demonization of the Muslims, either by changing names or by calling out that great people, those who actually preceded them in their families or in their culture, destroyed Indian culture, actually violated the ethos of Hindus, etc., etc. Now, my direct question is: does not this entire epic campaign, which we have been seeing since 2014 onward, or even back, right from the 1980s when they started the Babri Masjid, to remove the Babri Masjid and build a Ram temple from there, does this not violate Article 51A of the Indian Constitution that they are now, constitutionally supposed to uphold? Does this not, calls for which this Article 51A calls for the promotion of, let me read it out from here, harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religious diversities. Does this not violate the Constitution they are supposed to uphold?
They are violating. They are violating. Let's not have any confusion about it. And they don't believe in Indian Constitution. That's also the reality. They have no faith in Indian Constitution. They have said it in as many words as recently as last 10, 12 years. Since they came into, it's a truth that since Narendra Modi has come into the power in 2014, he has not uttered a single word about it. But there has been a call. Like when the Constitution was adopted, even at that point of time, it was said that nobody will accept this Constitution because it doesn't have the Indian ethos. They said Tiranga is apshakun because it has got 3 colors. Hindus will not accept it. Even they have a problem with the Bande Mataram and Jangan Man Adhinayak also. As recently as 2000 and 2001, when Sudarshan was the RSS chief and he gave an interview to the Karan Thapar asked him that, do you believe in Indian Constitution? He said, no, I don't believe in Indian Constitution. We have to scrap the Constitution. So they don't believe in Indian Constitution. But as we know that they are right now, they are not in a position to scrap the Constitution and form another Constitution. They are not in that position. Or probably they differ with the leftist ideology. They differ with the Leninists and the movement where they believe into the revolutions. They believe into a slow process of changing the Indian society because they don't want to confront. They don't want a direct confrontation where there might be a problem for them. So their process is very different. But if you look at what they have done in the last 12 years, that on the surface they will talk about it that like Jawaharlal Nehru, unity in diversity. If you read Bunch of Thought, right, even if you read theirs, it's very categorically written that we do not subscribe to the theocracy, though we want a Hindu Rashtra. They will define it in different terms altogether. But since 2014, Modi became the Prime Minister, there is a very definite thought process. Within that thought process, they will talk about equality of all religion. They will talk about the harmony, but only one religion will be protected by the state. Harmony will be fast among equals, and when it comes to getting a protect only Hindu dharma. So when there is a conflict between Hindu and Islam, they will come to the rescue of the Hindus, not to the Islam. So on the looks like that they believe into the diversity, but diversity, they will try to project that they in India, they are, as long as they are ruling, there is no threat to other religions. But have you ever seen Narendra Modi going to any mosque and or to the church?
No.
And doing
Well,
like,
it was pointed out by a friend that when he went to Oman, he wore an achkan or something which resembled a sherwani.
It's very tokenism.
Tokenism, but he would not do it in India. And, you were talking about the constitution, that they do not believe in it. In fact, the vice president of India at that time, Mr. Jagdeep Dhankar, whose departure, the controversy has still not been explained by the government, whatever be that matter. But the point is that he consistently said that there is nothing called the basic structure of the constitution, which was laid out in the famous Keshavananda Bharti case, which makes the constitution and its certain principles as very sacrosanct in nature. So there is nothing sacrosanct about the Indian constitution. Well, thank you, Ashutosh, for joining me on this program. To just tell the viewers once again that this is one rare occasion on which both Ashutosh and we would disagree with William Shakespeare, whose famous lines from Romeo and Juliet is that what's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet. No, you can change name, but it will not, smell as sweet. The GRG bill will no longer smell as sweet and as economically potent as MGNREGA was. On this note, Ashutosh, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Dada. Thank you.